The first one called depth first search. The idea of depth first search, let's say you lost your ring, or you lost something precious from you, or pen, okay? You lost it somewhere, right? And you want to find it, okay? So the idea of depth first search is what, okay? Let's say I'm standing here, and I have prior information that I didn't lose my pen here or my ring, I lost it far away from me, right? So what you need to do, you need to get away, as far away as possible from my starting point, correct? This is my starting point. And I know I lost my ring far away from me. So what I will do, I will get far away as possible from my starting point and keep going in depth, right? I keep searching for my ring, correct? What at the end I reach here to the door, I have a dead end, correct? Okay? Once I reach a dead end, I reach the dead end. What I do, I backstep one position to the previous vertex and I go different path. That path what? Also, I go far away as possible until I reach the end. Correct? Eventually, I will go far away from my what? My starting point. Correct or not? That's how depth first search works. Sorry? Yes, there's a recursion in it as well. Yeah, true. Okay? But the breadth first search, the other method is what? Is to search all the vertices that are adjacent to your starting location. Did I lose my ring here? No. One step. Did I lose my ring here? No. One step. They are completely different, correct? One goes as far away as possible from the starting point, and one check all the adjacent vertices and go next. Check all the adjacent vertices and go next, and keep doing this way. All right? So, this one, how to work the first search. There are 3 rules we need to follow, and you will hear me repeat them many times. Okay? Okay? There are 3 rules. First, I start with a vertex. And let's say here I start from A. Okay? I start from A. Rule number 1, go to any vertex that adjacent to A that what? Has not yet been visited. Okay? Or has yet to be visited. Correct? Right? This is rule 1. Rule 2, if cannot follow rule 1, meaning if I visit all, okay, then possible, pop up the vertex of the stack. I will show you the stack here along with it. Rule 3, if cannot follow rule 1, rule 2, that's mean you are done. So what we said, we need first to have a stack. Okay? So I need to have a stack. First, I start with empty stack. Alright? Which one is my starting vertex? A. Is A going to any other vertex not yet been visited? So I start from A, right? Okay? So what I do, A here. And my order is A. Okay? What I do to A, I push to the stack. Is A adjacent to any other vertex not yet been visited? I have how many? 4. B, C, D, E. Which one you put first? Let's do it alphabetical order. So all of us will have the same solution. Correct? Which one comes first alphabetical order? B. What I do to B, I push to a stack. And this is actually my depth first search order. Okay? This is the order here. First is A. The first element I search, then B, then so on. Okay? Then, is B connected to any other vertex not visited yet?
Yes.
Which one? F. Right? And I push up to the stack. I put the order F here. Which one top of the stack? F. Is F connected to any other vertex not visited yet?
Yes.
Which one?
H.
So what I do to H, put it in the order. And what I do here, push H to the stack. Correct? Alright? Is H connected to any other vertex not visited yet? No. It's a dead end, correct? What I do to H if I dead end? I go back. How to go back? You said backtracking, correct? But here, which one on the top of the stack? H. How to go to F?
Pop H.
Pop H. Okay? You don't have to use a version. Okay? So now I'm at F. Is F connected to any other vertex not visited yet? It's connected to H, but H is visited, right? I put H here. It's visited. Okay? Now, what I do to F? Up of the stack. Is B connected to any other vertex not visited yet? What I do to B? Up of the stack. is A connected to any other vertex not yet been visited?
Yes.
B is visited. What about C? Not yet been visited. I push the stack and I put it in my order. Right? Is C connected to any other vertex not yet been visited? No. What I do to C? Oh. Next is what?
D.
D. D. Okay. Is it connected to another vertex? D. Right? How about D? Connected to whom? G. I put the other G here. Okay. G connected to any other vertex? I. Put the I here. I connected to any other vertex? No. What I do to I? Pop. G connected to any other vertex not yet been visited? No. I is already visited. So pop G. D? Pop. A connected to any other vertex not visited yet? How to know? Go here. Refer back to here. See which one I visited. Right? So, E, right? Okay. I put the order here. E. Next. E connected to another vertex that has been visited?
No.
No. What I do to E?
Pop.
A connected to another vertex not yet been visited?
No.
What I do to A?
Pop.
Do I have empty stack?
Yes.
Done. Okay?
This is for what? How
This
do
is the first search. And see how, by the way, we don't have to do the stack. Here I'm doing it without the stack. Okay? How to do it without the stack? I come to here. A first. A adjacent to B, C, D. Which one comes first? B. B connected to F. I go to H. I reach at the end. What I do? I backtrack. Do I have another vertex going out of F? No. Do I have another vertex going out of B? No. Go back. Do I have another vertex going out of A? Yes. C. Then later which one? D, H, sorry, G, I, E. No? And this the whole thing.
So
Simple enough?
we don't need to use the stack.
I will give you example of the stack. You need to use the stack.
Ah.
Do not make mistakes.
Okay.
If you are maybe you have done so many examples, you might not make mistakes. But the stack, what's the purpose of the stack? To keep a track. Because the graph not all the time looks like this. It's possible F connected to D, right? Okay? It's possible H connected to E. It's possible I have cycles, so many cycles. So then you will lose which one now, when you go back to the previous vertex, you will lose the track. Okay? So it's all the time better to use a stack. And I prepare for you different PPT for the stack and the queue. For the depth first search and breadth first search. Because depth first search we use a stack, breadth first search we use what? Queue. Alright?
Breadth for search?
Breadth first search. We have two searching algorithms, right? Depth first search, DFS and BFS. Breadth first search.
Ah, breadth.
Okay? So, okay. Next, breadth first search. Implemented with a queue. I use a queue to implement it. Alright? Stays as close as possible as my starting point. It's just like a radar, right? Okay, check all the locations next to you first, then we move on, okay? Visit all vertices adjacent to the starting vertex, right? And it steps like this. Start with visiting a starting vertex, visit the next unvisited adjacent vertex, mark it and insert it in the queue. If there are no unvisited vertices, remove the vertex from the queue and make the current the current vertex. Continue until you reach the end. Okay? So this one how it works, right? I start from A, correct?
Yes.
I do the queue also here. You want to do the queue? Next, I show you the next example. Fine. Because I have another example with the queue. Okay? I'll show you how it's done here without the queue. Then next, I show you with the queue. All right?
Okay.
So I start with A, right? A is connected to which vertices?
Huh?
You have ADHD.
So B, C, D, E will be visited before the rest. Okay? So A, then later what? B. Then later which one adjacent to A? C. Then later which one? D. Later E.
E.
Right? Notice here I put numbers, right? What these numbers mean, it is the breadth first search order, correct? This is the first vertex, then B, then C, then D, then E, right? Now, A, did I finish all the vertices adjacent to A?
No.
Which one I visited after A?
B.
Then I go to B, I see which one is connected to B.
F.
Now I go to B. Which one is adjacent to B? F. Okay?
Yes.
Finish now, right? Finish with F. Now, after B, which one I visited first?
C.
C. So that's why the Q is keeping track which one you inserted in the Q first. So the Q here will look, like this. This is my Q. At the beginning, empty, right? I insert A to the Q. Okay? Now
Yes.
what I do, I put A as my birth first search. Birth first search. I put A, right? Okay? I write it. So I put A, right? Then later what I do, DQA from the Q, and I insert to the Q all the vertices adjacent to A. Which one adjacent to A?
B, C.
We insert from top to bottom.
Alphabetical order.
Ah.
No,
Okay,
don't.
okay, okay.
Okay. B. Which one?
C.
C,
C,
D,
D, E.
C, D, and E. Right? Which one in front of the Q? This is the front of the Q. This is the rear. Which one in front of the Q?
B.
B. So I put B as the order here. And what I do to B? Remove B from the Q,
DQ.
and I insert at the end. Which one adjacent to B?
F.
F.
Insert at the end. Okay? Now which one in front of the Q?
C.
Which one in front of the Q? C. Right? So this one, C. Remove C from the Q. And which one I insert? Is any other vertex adjacent to C? No. Put in my pocket one watch. Okay? Anything adjacent to C?
No.
No. Right? DQD. Anything adjacent to D?
Yes.
G.
G.
Why
Insert
we
G.
are using the Q to keep track of which one I should visit first. Okay? Alright? That's the good way, okay, to do this. Okay or not?
0.
So let me upload the example for you. I have to touch now.
Yes.
I'm not looking. Is it disappeared or not? Or still okay?
We have 20 minutes.
I uploaded 2 different examples. I just separate them. I think it's better because that one becomes long. Okay, first the first search, okay? So it can be used to attempt to holograph and systematic. And I'll just repeat the same thing, okay? Walk with directed graph, walk with weighted graph, okay? We have the following, right? So look here, I have my graph. Can you see the letters inside or not?
Yes.
Okay.
This one, cable not working. Projector, what color I have in the children? Blue, bright blue. Not so dark.
Black.
It's so dark, from black. Anyway, I start with node D, okay? Okay. So what I have, this is my stack, correct? Here I put the list that which one is visited, which one is not.
Ah.
In my opinion, it's not necessary if you are putting the order there. If you put the order here, okay, you will already know which one is visited, correct? If you put the order here, you will know which node are visited already, right? So I start from D. Is any node adjacent to D?
Yes, too.
Yes. I'm doing that first
Three.
search. That first search. I need to go far away from D as possible, right? Based on alphabetical order, which one comes first? C.
C.
Okay. Then what I do to C? I show the stack.
Thank you.
I put the order here. Okay. I label it as visited, right? Okay. Is C adjacent to any other vertex not yet been visited?
No.
What I do to C?
Pop.
Pop.
From the stack. Right? Gone. Is D, now which one top of the stack D? Is D connected to any other vertex not yet been visited?
Yes. F.
Which one?
Where we go E.
E first,
E
right?
first,
I
yes.
call the E first, right? I cannot. Okay, E. E, right? Okay. Now I push E to the stack, right? Is E adjacent to any other vertex not yet been visited?
Yes. G.
Which one?
G.
G. Is G connected to another vertex not yet been visited?
H.
Which one?
H.
H. Right? Now here, that's why it's good to use a stack. Now I have from H 2 connections, right? Okay? So if we later we want to backtrack, it's good to keep the stack to know which vertex you backtrack to, right? Okay. Now, which one? H going to another vertex not visited yet?
It's
A.
going to A.
Which one?
A.
A.
A and B. Which one alphabetical order?
A.
Then I go to A. I push A to the stack. I put the A here. A
B.
going to
From
room
B.
B. So I reach B from A or H?
From A.
That's the difference. Okay, between depth first search and breadth first search. If a breadth first search I'm at H, I'll visit A, then B. I reach B from where? H, not from A. Okay? Anyway, so is B connected to another vertex that has been visited?
F.
No. Pop
Ah.
B,
Yes.
pop A,
A.
then H, G, E, all will be popped, right?
Yes.
Now is D connected to any other vertex that has been
F.
visited? F. I push F to the stack, put F here, pop F, pop D, empty stack is done. Okay? Simple? Done. Alright? So, but be careful also. I have noticed this over the years. You will do the stack for me, you will do here, but the student forget to put the first search one. You will put the least, you will do the least, less important thing, and you forget the most important thing. I've seen it so many times. You put the start, pop, and so on, but no order at all. This one is empty, completely nothing. So be very careful, all right? Okay. I wish I could put everything. Today I forgot my mouse. Okay, next we have breadth first search.
Breadth first search.
Breadth first search. Breadth first search. Okay.
Research.
So can be used attempt visit all nodes and graph in a systematic matter. Works with both weighted and weighted, directed not directed, weighted not weighted. Works with everything, right?
What's the difference between the directed and weighted?
Directed, you tell me there's error, correct? You told me just earlier.
Yes.
Weighted is what? There is value on the edges, or there are no values on the edges. For example, here going from D to E, to F, sorry, F or E, to there, okay? Going to there from D to F is what? There is no cost, correct?
Yes. And
So
weighted.
you go from here to here, there's no cost. But if I put here 10, going from D to F will cost you 10.
It's weighted or
Right.
unweighted?
This is weighted if I put
The
label
value.
on the edges, not weighted if there is no label on the edges. Okay? So, the idea of the breadth first search, what we said, I need to check all the vertices that are adjacent to my starting point, right? If I start from D, D would this be the first one, like in level 0. Next is which one? All the one that are directly adjacent to it, correct? Right or not?
C.
Then later, right away, directly, which one now? The first one, C, there's nothing to see, right?
C.
C, not nothing. Later, which one?
E.
E. Then later, here. Then later, what? F. F, nothing to F, right? Then later, which one? G. I cannot read that whole way. This one. Then later, A. I think here, A. Then later, see, A and B, I highlighted together because both of them visit at the same time from where? From H. However, in the first search, we went to A, and I visited B from A, correct? But don't worry, we are not doing it this way. We are using what? Q. Okay? And the same idea we are following, step by step. So my starting point is D, right? Okay. Now my Q is what? Empty. I start from D. I push D, I NQ D, okay, to the Q. All right? And what I put, DQ, I add D to the visited, to the order. Once is what? I remove D from the Q. I add D here. What I insert to the Q now? All the vertices adjacent to D. Which one?
C. E. F.
C, E, F. Just put it alphabetical order. Right? Now, which one in front of the Q?
C.
C. What I do? DQ, okay? Remove C, put it here. And what I do next? Insert all the vertices adjacent to C. Anything adjacent to C?
No.
Not yet been visited, right?
Yes.
No, nothing. Okay. Next is which one? In front of the Q?
F.
F. Is anything adjacent to F? Not yet been visited?
No.
No. Remove F. G. Anything adjacent to G? Not yet been visited?
H.
B?
Sorry.
Is it
Which one?
H?
What is E? Oh, E, sorry. I skipped so many. Okay, E, sorry, E.
Yeah.
Okay, E. Oh, E before F. I'm so sorry. E before F, right?
Yes.
Yeah, E before F. Is anything adjacent to E, right?
Yeah.
Which one?
G.
G, right? G is adjacent to E. So what I do, I remove E and I insert which one?
G.
G.
So I remove E and I insert G. Which one in front of the Q now?
F.
F. I remove F. Anything adjacent to F?
No.
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 Okay, I have only G. G, anything adjacent to G?
H.
H. So I remove G.
Put
and insert H. Anything adjacant to H?
A.
A and B.
A and B, add them together. Anything to adjacent to A?
B.
No, I remove A, nothing will have. No. B is already there. So I cannot insert B again. Yes. So anything adjacent to A that not yet been visited? No. A will be dequeued. B will be dequeued. And this is my breadth first search order. So every node I dequeue, I put it in the order. Every node I dequeue, I put it in the order. All right? That's it. That's the first search. If you use the stack in a queue, sorry. If you use the stack in a queue, stack for what?
Breadth.
For depth first search.
Depth first.
Yes.
And queue for breadth first search.
Breadth first search.
You should never make mistakes.
Q for breadth and
What's the difference between AQ
Bread.
and push?
bread.
Yeah.
Push in the stack, right?
Good.
Is the operation.
And
is
stack for
the,
what? Stack for
is the
what?
operation that's done on the stack, which is
What?
push and pop, right?
Deep.
So push on the stack and push on the top.
First search.
That's what it's called push.
Depth.
In queue, I
Depth
insert,
first.
I don't insert the front, I insert what? Real. Correct? Insert at the end.
Expired
When you
date.
go to queue and get your coffee, right? Did you skip the queue?
No.
No. You can skip it. You say,
Future rate. Future rate.
okay, that's
Where's
it.
the red?
Done. Start in the queue.
I love.
What's left?
Which I know.
What you?
What's left?
Okay. Some hungry? Yeah. Go eat. Okay. There's, again, I want to announce again. Is anyone, I remember one student contacted me a few hours before the exam. They said they are sick, but I am not sure they attended the exam or not.